Happy Friday, guys. I hope you are all doing amazing and are ready for today's science class. So I want to start today's class with a journal question. So you guys should have opened up a document that I attached to Google Classroom. If you didn't, please do that right now. And I want you guys to go ahead and answer the journal question. So with all that information that I shared with you guys on Monday about geese, I want you guys to tell me why you guys think geese live in groups. And if you don't have an answer for me yet, or you need to refresh your mind on that information, remember you can always go click back on that assignment and rewatch that video. But I just want to see what your guys' thoughts are on there. So with all that information that I shared with you, why do you think geese live in groups? And then when you're done with that, we can start today's activity. So remember I mentioned to you guys that you're gonna need a mason jar, or if you don't have a mason jar, you can use a water bottle, I believe. You just need to make sure that it's on tightly because we're gonna be putting water inside of our mason jars or water bottles, and we're gonna be shaking it around, so you don't want that water to spill. But if you have a mason jar, please take it out, fill it up with some water, but again, make sure you have a lid so that we can move it around and we don't have any spills. All right, so once you do that, you're also gonna need a sheet of paper and some scissors. So remember, this is a video. I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the experiment, but if you need to go get that stuff, go ahead and pause me right now. So we're gonna start by, we're gonna end up cutting out pieces from this paper, but I wanna make sure that those pieces are relatively the same size. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my piece of paper with the long ways heading down, and I'm just gonna fold it in half like this. All right, and then I'm gonna do that one more time. So I have it like this, and I'm gonna fold it in half one more time. So now I should have something that looks like this. All right, and we're not done yet. Now I'm gonna take this top part and I'm gonna try to count 3 lines down. So I have 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna fold it right there, just like that. And then from that line, I'm gonna go ahead and count 3 down again, and I'm gonna fold it 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna fold it right there too. Because there's already lines on here, you don't need to do this, but I want to make sure that my lines are easier for me to see. So that's why I'm doing it, and I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, and fold down one more time. All right, I think that's enough pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and just open it up. When I open up my sheet of paper, I should see all of these little boxes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, I might need one more, but that's fine. I'll just cut it out later. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna take my scissors and cut straight up on that first line. All right, and I'm gonna just put this to the side. I'm still gonna need this, but I'm gonna focus on these 4 squares right here. So I see that I have my folds. I have 1 right here, 1 right here, and 1 right here, and it should give me 4 pieces. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on this 4th piece, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a pen and I'm gonna write a big X on the sheet of paper, so that it looks like this. Now I'm gonna grab my mason jar, or a water bottle should work too. But remember, it has to be a clear water bottle because we're trying to see what's happening inside. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my jar. I'm going to toss my piece of paper inside of the jar. Then I'm gonna secure the mason jar again. So want to make sure I screw this on tightly so that I don't have water spillage. And I'm going to go ahead and just shake that up. All right, and I want you guys to observe what you see. Does this remind you guys of anything we see in our oceans by any chance? So it might not be exact, but it's supposed to replicate a fish swimming around. And that is what our little friend with this X is going to be. Well, all of the pieces of paper that we're going to throw into this mason jar today are going to be fish, but we're going to keep our eyes specifically on the one with the X. So groups of fish that live together are referred to as schools. And what we're going to do with this activity is we're going to see why fish swim in groups or schools. So I'm going to go ahead and open this back up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 more fish to my jar so that I end up having 5 fish altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to need another one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up my next sheet of paper following that line. They're all roughly about 3. Cut. And again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just going to add 1 more so that I now have 5 in here. Same thing, I'm going to go ahead and put my cap back on there. Make sure I screw this on tightly so I don't get any spillage. And I'm going to go ahead and spin again. Is it easy for you guys to see where that X is at? Sometimes it gets lost in the group. So I want you guys to go ahead and write down what you see when we have 5 fish. So we can see it a little bit easier now that they stopped moving. But what happens when I spin faster? Because fish that swim or that live in schools tend to swim pretty fast with each other. If you've ever been to SeaWorld and you've gone where they have really, really big, huge fish tanks that you get to walk under, you've seen these schools of fish that swim together, and they swim really, really fast. So I could still see my X that I wanted, which was the fish that I marked, but it was a little bit harder when I had 5 fish in there total, but I could still see it. So now what do you guys think is gonna happen if I add 10 more fish? So I'm gonna go ahead and take my scissors again. I'm going to cut my next 4 fish out, and because I need 10, I'm gonna have to cut out another line. So again, I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, and then count and cut on that 3rd line. 1, 2, 3, and cut on that 3rd line. All right, and then I'm gonna start cutting them on my folds. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so I'm gonna add 10 more fish inside of my jar. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now I have 15 fish inside of here. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure this is on tightly. And I'm gonna go ahead and swirl. What happens now? Is it easy for you guys to find my marked fish? We saw it a little bit. We see it here and there. I'm gonna go ahead and swirl it one more time. All right, and after that, I want you guys to go ahead and mark down now what you observed. So all of these, I'm gonna have you guys write them on the Google document. So if you're following along on the Google document, you'll see that these questions that I'm asking are already there. So what do you guys see? What did you guys see when we have 10 fish? Oh, make sure they're all swimming. Is it as easy to spot that X when we have more fish in here? So we added those 10, so now we have a total of 15. So now I want you guys to let me know what you guys are observing. Is it easy to spot our marked fish when we have 15 fish inside of our mason jar? All right, guys, so once you are done with your 15 fish, go ahead and set this to the side because we're done with the activity part of it. And now we're just gonna go ahead and answer some questions. So I listed the questions on the document. If you need any help answering them, please email me. But I want to see what you guys understood from this first. And the questions are really easy, but again, if you need help, email me. And then we're gonna talk about this some more on Monday. But other than that, guys, have a great